Southmead in Bristol has become the first hospital in the world to use a new device to treat Parkinson's disease. Surgeons put a tiny electrical implant into the centre of the brain to help reverse the devastating symptoms of the condition. The very first patient to get it has told us the impact has been amazing. Our health correspondent Matthew Hill reports.
Tony Howells never thought he'd be able to tee off again, but 18 months after a world-first operation in Bristol, he's now back on the fairway. This is how Tony was before the trial, when the medication he was taking to increase levels of the hormone dopamine in his brain simply wasn't working. He was the first of 5 patients to be given deep brain stimulation.
Before the operation, I went for a walk on Boxing Day with my wife, and I got 200 yards from the actual car in the woods, and I had to turn around and go back because I just couldn't walk. And then after the operation, which was 12 months later, I went for 2.5 miles. I could have went further.
DBS improves symptoms by delivering electrical impulses directly to target areas of the brain, overriding abnormal brain cell firing patterns caused by Parkinson's. Well, this is the traditional battery, quite large, that was implanted into the chest with wires being put under the skin right through the top of the head. This is the new battery, far smaller, as you can see, implanted into the skull, and these electrodes then push through the skull and deep into the brain to stimulate it. It takes just 3 hours to carry out the new operation. If it's approved by the medical regulator, then it could then double the number of people to benefit.
If you're very more elderly in your Parkinson's, or if you've got memory problems as part of your Parkinson's, this wouldn't be suitable for you. But if you're a younger person with Parkinson's, you can have brain surgery and so on, then it becomes much more applicable to that group.
There are about 140,000 people living with Parkinson's in the UK, so that's potentially 14,000 people like Tony who could benefit from this device if the trial continues to be successful. Matthew Hill, BBC Points West.
Oh, and thanks to Tony for letting us share his story. Now, Professor David Dexter is Associate Director of Research at Parkinson's UK. He gave me his reaction to the outcome of the trials.
This is really interesting research because it offers the potential of deep brain stimulation to more people affected by Parkinson's. So principally, it shortens down the surgery that's required to install the deep brain stimulators. And also it means that the battery pack is active, for the life of the patient, because at the moment, people have to have a new battery pack fitted about every 10 years.
Yeah, we saw that in Matthew's report, and they're a lot bigger, of course, as well. How much of a big game changer, then, do you think this is going to be? Because we always have to be careful in the news that we don't get too overexcited about developments in medicine.
That's right, yes. But it's an important development because, as I say, it does open up the possibility of more people affected by Parkinson's having deep brain stimulation. Also, if it decreases the surgery time and things, it decreases the cost to the NHS. And so more people can have deep brain stimulation being done on the NHS. So currently we've got 300 stimulators being implanted at 17 centres across the NHS. And that really, could increase because you'll be able to have double the surgery time.
Incredible. So how much has research into Parkinson's changed and developed, do you think, over the past decade or so?
Over the last 10 years, we've made tremendous advances in really understanding what causes Parkinson's, because at the moment there is no cure. So deep brain stimulation, whilst it isn't a cure, is a bolt-on therapy which really does allow people to live independently for a lot longer, particularly if they're having problems with their current medications, or if they've got a symptom called tremor that doesn't respond well to treatment. But this gives us a breathing space to develop new drugs which are coming down the pipeline, which will one day slow and potentially cure Parkinson's.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Do you think we ever dare think that we might have beaten it one day?
Well, I think it will be that, it may be like HIV, where we need to have multiple drugs which are administered at the same time, tackling different pathways that cause Parkinson's. But as we when Parkinson's actually develops, about 70% of the brain cells have been lost already. So if we can find out who is going to develop Parkinson's and administer these drugs earlier, then the potential of stopping Parkinson's is becoming much more realistic.
That's exciting and very interesting as well. Professor Dexter, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Thank you.
Now, I know some of you are going to want to find out more. So the professor said go to the Parkinson's UK website. The address is on your screen. It's parkinsons.org.uk.